Hello, it's Edward. Let's talk healing. Your healing and mine. I want to talk about something, but I don't know what I want to talk about. I'm going through some low frequency feelings. I'm remembering things from my childhood that were rather difficult to wrap my brain around. Things that were told to me that were lies to protect other people, protect themselves. I don't know how to talk about this stuff. I don't know how. I told my son. I don't know how I'm going to tell my daughters. I don't know how I'm going to tell anybody. What I was told was one thing. What happened was something completely different. The things people do to hide their demons. I died when I was a child. 10 or 11 or something, I don't know. I was getting over the red measles, and I got what I was told by my family, sleeping sickness, it's called. And if you do research, sleeping sickness is caused from a parasite on a tsetse fly from Africa. It can lead to death. Presents with lethargy and so on and so forth. I remember waking up. I remember there were people in the dining room, and I asked if I could lay on the couch and watch TV. He said, sure. And I remember getting up and going to the bathroom and coming back, and that's all I remember. What I remember is being face down and seeing my mother leaning over me when I died. Because I was face down. I remember that. And I looked up and I saw her. And then almost instantaneously, I was like 4 or 5 feet above her, leaning over me, over my body. And I'm trying to wrap my brain around that. The only person I saw, the only thing I felt was concern. I've talked about the experience and the light, that everything was, it was like the Matrix loaded. You know, that loading program when Morpheus and Neo are talking and Stephanie's white. That's what it was like. There seemed to be I don't know. I would like to think that there was a presence, but all I felt was concern. That's the only emotion that was there, was concern. No fear, no anger, just concern that I recall. I don't know if I talked to anybody. I don't remember that stuff. But it was exactly like that loading screen. Everything in every direction was white. You couldn't see seams or corners or anything. It was just white. And I was revived. Nobody really told me what happened. It was never talked about. When I asked, I said sleeping sickness. And I remember I said a couple of times, what I saw. But it was hush hush. We don't talk about it. No one ever talked about it. And it's there, that memory. Just like it happened yesterday. I did my research. Tsetse flies have a parasite apparently, or something along those lines. But it's from Africa. So we're talking 50 years ago. 50 years ago. Certainly isn't tropical. And I don't think it's associated with anything else. But that's what I was told I had. 50 years ago, did they know what sleeping sickness was, but where it came from? Did they know it was a parasite on a tsetse fly? Only in Africa. I really want to know what my mother was doing leaning over me like that. And I know I was face down. I don't remember. I just remember her leaning over me. And then everything was light, and I know I was face down because I could see myself face down as she was leaning over me. There was nobody else there. Just her. I saw no one else. I heard no one else. And then I was 5 or 6 feet above both her and my body. Ding, ding. And it's haunted me a long time. See, it was her that stripped me down in my parents' bed when I was a little baby, when I was a child. Maybe 4, 5 years old, maybe. I didn't know who it was. I knew it was a woman, but I couldn't see. I remember the hair. I remember it was being done to me. It really messed me up. And then I was shamed and emotionally neglected and abandoned. That's what happens when you navigate through this stuff. It comes in waves. It's been a hard couple of days trying to wrap my brain around this. I lost a lot of memory, a lot of gaps after that. lot of gaps in my youth. Had to learn a lot of things over again. I started reading energy. I started hearing things, hearing ESP. My dad would get mad at me. I'd walk past him and answer what I thought he was saying, and he would get really mad at me and ask why I said that. And I says, "Well, didn't you just say something?" And he says, "No." And it was like I was talking, like I heard him. And he got mad. He would sit me down in the middle of the room or at the table and demand me to tell me what cards he was looking at. He'd take a deck of cards and he would put it in front of me. He'd say, "What is this? What is this? Tell me what this is. What is this?" And I was so fucking scared of my father that I didn't know what to say. I don't think nothing. It's like, even if I did, I would push it away because fear was the only thing. Whenever I would talk about something, they'd say, "Don't ever talk about that because they'll take you away and cut out your brain to see what's wrong with you." So I had to suppress all these things that I was experiencing after I died. And I'm trying to embrace them again, and it's hard. It's hard because there's a lot of fear associated with that, a lot of emotional suppression and manipulation associated with this. I don't know how to. I'm trying to navigate this. I'm trying. I'd like to remember it all if I can. It's slowly starting to come back. It's little things are coming up, and I'm starting to ask questions. And the more I start my spiritual journey, the harder my family fights against it. They throw me out in my hour of need. When I'm trying to heal. That is the narcissistic way. Fear, because they can't do it. They don't want you to wake up and see and hear and understand. Start asking questions. Just accept what I say as the truth and leave it alone. Don't talk about it. Or they'll take you away, cut out your brain to see what's wrong with you. Not the greatest support as a child. Kind of questionable behaviors. But that's the life I was raised in. I think I turned out pretty good considering. I think I turned out pretty fucking excellent if you ask me. Always staying in the light. Always trying to move forward. Always trying to better myself. It's hard breaking the patterns of people pleasing, feeling unworthy of any kind of success or any kind of love. Just broken people. Now that I know who I am, I accept nothing less than those that are healed. And only those that are healed know the kind of work you have to do, the dedication, devotion to self, to feel through every single trauma that you've ever experienced in your life and to navigate that, all those flags that pop up and going down every single rabbit hole, walking through hell, coming out with flames still burning, and you go down the next one again and again and again until it's over, till it's done, until you're through it all. And each time you complete a cycle, it gets easier. Some of them are pretty fucking hard. Like, some of them are really, really, really hard to navigate. But you feel lighter in between those rabbit holes. You come out, you put some burn ointment on, you ground, spend some time in nature. If you're lucky, you'll have a nice pet with you to help you navigate this stuff, to experience what you have to experience. Yeah, I miss her. But I couldn't have her sitting on my lap 24/7. I couldn't do that to her in the winter. And I needed to start stepping out, interacting with people, getting out there, pushing myself. I became such a hermit. I was the poster child for her. For hermit. I couldn't get out, I couldn't go out, I couldn't function, couldn't have conversations, didn't want to be anywhere near anybody else's energy. Because everybody projects. And I was full. I was done. I was done with the projection. And it took a long time to heal myself. To be able, pardon me, to be able to heal. And, excuse me for a second. It took me a long time to heal through that. All those projections that people put a place on us, to heal and discover who you are. Know your energy. Know what other people's energies are when they're projecting on you. It takes a lot to do that. You really have to know who you are to understand that most people project. Very hard path to walk, but so worth it in the end. It's just difficult because there are very few people at this level of healing that totally that understand this. Hell, I don't know of anybody else that's at this level of healing, to understand that all communication is a projection of self. If it's not unconditional love, consciousness. And now I'm right on the precipice of the next big step into consciousness. And I guess I'm holding on to the fear attached to uncertainty. Because when I think about what I'm going to do, or the release that I have to embrace, it's a bit of a challenging sensation, emotion. You really have to let loose of the fear, because I was so programmed to interpret everybody else's projections and expectations. I was to carry those. I was to carry all that pain, all the projections, all the programming. I was to carry it all. That was my burden. As a light worker, and everybody projects their limitations on you. Everybody projects. Everybody takes from you. Everybody. I think there was just a handful of people in my life that never took from me. And everybody else did. I hate to tell you this, but you're going to have to give back. It's called karma. And you know it. If you don't know it now, you're going to know it. That's the way the universe works. So I've paid my karmic debts off and done some. So with the reward of healing, learning self, understanding self, when I step into consciousness, when I fully release all those fears, there's going to be some reward there somewhere. And the only way to prove it is to do it, is to fully let go. I got 1 foot in and 1 foot out right now. The doctor said, have 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Make sure you can come back. And the interesting thing is I really learned a lot about myself with that process of 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And now I think I'm ready with all the tools and all the skills that I've developed. My understanding, stepping through into consciousness. We're talking consciousness. We're talking something really significant here. A complete release of all the projections and all the programming and all the fears. I could almost see it, but I don't know how it's going to, what the implications are socially. Well, as I continue to release, forgive, and move forward through what I've had to endure, I'll keep you up to date. I don't know when I'm going to post another video. I know I needed to talk about this. I don't know if I'm going to post this or not. Probably into like 25 minutes now, so there's a couple of videos here. Maybe I'll just stick it up on YouTube and cut parts out for TikTok. We'll see. Take care. Remember, one direction forward. You got this. If I can do this, you can do this. And heal through all of this crap. It's not easy. You got to feel your way through it. If I can do this, you can do this. Because we all feel. We've just gone through different things. But it's all transferable. It doesn't matter. Feel through it to heal through it. You got this. Good luck.